What if I told you that other dimensions aren't just a wild idea from science fiction, but a reality that's simply invisible to us? What if the universe is layered with realities we can't see, touch, or hear, not because they're far away, but because our own senses are holding us back? Let's dive deep into this fascinating question. Why can't we see other dimensions? First, let's look at what cutting-edge science has to say. For decades, physicists have been working on something called string theory. It's a complex idea, but one of its most mind-blowing suggestions is that our universe is on just the three spatial dimensions we know: length, width, and height, plus time. String theory proposes that there could be as many as 10 or even 11 dimensions all around us. Think about that for a second. More than double the dimensions we experience every day. So, if they exist, where are they? According to the theory, these extra dimensions are compactified, meaning they are curled up into incredibly tiny shapes, far too small for us to perceive directly. Imagine a long, thin garden hose. From a distance, it looks like a one-dimensional line. But if you get very close, you see it has a second dimension: its circular circumference. These extra dimensions could be like that all around us, but on a scale so minuscule that our senses, and even our most advanced instruments, can't detect them. Our perception is fundamentally limited to the macroscopic world of 3 dimensions. We are built for this reality, just as a fish is built for water. It doesn't mean the sky doesn't exist. It just means the fish isn't equipped to experience it. Now, let's shift from the vastness of the cosmos to the inner workings of our own minds. The biological proof for our limited perception is just as compelling. Your brain is an incredible filtering machine. Every second, you are bombarded with an estimated 11 million bits of sensory information. The light hitting your eyes, the sounds around you, the feeling of your clothes, the temperature of the air. It's an overwhelming flood of data. If your brain tried to process all of it consciously, you'd be in a state of constant sensory overload. You wouldn't be able to focus on anything. So, what does your brain do? It filters out almost all of it. Studies suggest that we are only consciously aware of about 50 bits of information per second. That means your brain is throwing away over 99.9% of the sensory data it receives. It only lets through what it deems necessary for your survival and immediate tasks. This is a survival mechanism. Our brains evolved to focus on finding food, avoiding predators, and navigating our 3D world. Signals from a potential 4th or 5th spatial dimension wouldn't have been relevant to our ancestors' survival. So our brains simply learned to ignore them. Higher dimensional signals might be floating all around us, like invisible radio waves, but our perceptual hardware isn't built to detect them. We are literally wired to be blind to them. But what if there are places on Earth where the veil between dimensions is thinner? This brings us to some fascinating geological anomalies. Take the infamous Bermuda Triangle. For decades, stories have circulated about ships and planes vanishing without a trace in this region of the North Atlantic Ocean. While many incidents have logical explanations, some remain genuinely mysterious. Similarly, there's the South Atlantic anomaly, a vast area over South America and the Southern Atlantic Ocean where the Earth's inner radiation belt comes closest to the surface. This anomaly is known to cause problems for satellites and spacecraft, leading to computer glitches and system malfunctions. Scientists explain this as a dip in the planet's magnetic field. But what if it's more than that? What if these areas are points where our 3D reality experiences distortions or even interactions with something beyond it? A weakened magnetic field could, in theory, act as a gateway or a point of interference from another dimensional plane. These aren't just spooky stories. They are documented physical phenomena that show our world is unstable or uniform as we might think. Could these anomalies be clues, hints from the planet itself, that our three-dimensional space is interacting with realities beyond our comprehension? Interestingly, this idea of a reality beyond our perception isn't new at all. Ancient wisdom and spiritual texts have hinted at this for thousands of years. Let's consider a famous passage from the Bible. In 1 Corinthians 13:12, it says, "For now we see through a glass, darkly." This profound statement suggests that our current human perception of reality is incomplete. Like looking through a dim, distorted mirror, we see only a murky reflection of the full truth. It implies that there is a greater, clearer reality that exists, but our current state prevents us from seeing it fully. This isn't about physical sight alone. It's about a fundamental limitation in our understanding. The scripture foresaw that humans perceive only a fraction of what truly is, and that a clearer vision awaits. This concept is also beautifully echoed in Islamic teachings. The Quran frequently speaks of al-ghayb, which translates to the unseen or the unperceivable. For instance, Quran 59-22 states, "It is He who knows the unseen and the seen." This verse makes a clear distinction between the reality we can observe, the seen, and a reality that is beyond our senses, the unseen. Islamic theology teaches that realms like the angelic and spiritual worlds exist within this unseen dimension. They are not part of our physical, observable universe but coexist with it. This isn't presented as a fantasy, but as a fundamental aspect of creation. God's knowledge encompasses both realms, but human perception is, by design, limited to the seen. The existence of other dimensions is therefore a core part of this worldview, a realm that is real but simply beyond the reach of our human senses. To bring all these ideas together, let's use a simple, real-life analogy. Think of a radio. A radio sitting on your table can only play the station it's tuned to. Let's say it's tuned to 98.7 FM. That's all you can hear. But does that mean that 101.5 FM, 92.3 FM, and all the AM stations have ceased to exist? Of course not. Thousands of other frequencies, carrying different music, news, and conversations, are filling the very same room at that exact moment. They are all there, but the radio is deaf to them because it isn't tuned to their specific frequency. Our consciousness, our very perception of reality, is like that radio. We are tuned to the frequency of the three-dimensional world. It's the station we were born into. All the information, all the experiences, all the laws of physics as we know them, exist on this frequency. The other dimensions, proposed by string theory, hinted at by geological anomalies, and described in ancient texts, are simply other stations on the cosmic dial. They are broadcasting all the time, coexisting with us in the same space, but we can't perceive them because we are not tuned to their frequency. So, the closing truth is this: other dimensions aren't missing, and they're not some far-off, imaginary place. The reason we can't see them is because we are not equipped to. Our scientific instruments, our biological brains, and our conscious awareness are all calibrated for this one specific slice of reality. The rest of the vast, multidimensional cosmos remains unseen, not because it's absent, but because we simply aren't tuned in. The universe is infinitely more complex and mysterious than what our five senses can report. If this exploration of unseen realities has expanded your mind and made you question the limits of your own perception, then I think you'll love what's coming next. Be sure to watch my next video, where we'll explore practical ways we might be able to start tuning in to these other frequencies. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more journeys into the unknown.